All right, today we're going to demystify a core concept in Terraform that honestly can be a real roadblock for beginners, providers. We're going to break down exactly what they are and why they are just so essential.
So, you've been wondering this, right? Well, if that question's ever been on your mind, trust me, you are not alone. And by the end of this, the answer is going to be absolutely crystal clear.
Okay, so let's start with the basic problem, the real challenge here. Terraform is this incredible tool, right? It's designed to manage a huge variety of systems, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, the whole shebang. But here's the catch. They all have their own unique way of working. So how on earth does one single tool command so many different platforms?
I want you to imagine this. You walk into a room and you've got a job to do. You need to tell one person to build a wall, another to paint a picture, and a third person to bake a cake. Simple enough, right? Except they all speak completely different languages. There's no way to communicate. That is the exact problem Terraform is up against. And this is where our hero comes in. The elegant, simple answer to this really complex communication problem is something called a provider.
Okay, so let's get the formal, kind of technical definition out of the way first. A provider is a plugin that allows Terraform to interact with an external API. Basically, it's the bit of software that translates your configuration file, what you write, into commands the platform can actually understand and execute. But you know what? Let's just ditch all that jargon for a second. If you remember nothing else, remember this. A provider is a translator. That's it. That is the entire core idea right there. And this really lays it all out. See, over on one side, you've got Terraform, speaking its own language. That's HCL. Then on the other side, you have a cloud platform, say AWS, and it only speaks its own language, its API. So what's in the middle? The provider. It's that crucial translator connecting the two. Okay, so this probably leads you to a pretty logical question, right? If a provider is just a translator, why can't we have, one of those universal translators, just one thing that does it all? Well, the reason is actually pretty simple. Every single one of these platforms speaks its own unique, kind of proprietary language. The API commands you'd use to create a server on AWS, they are completely 100% different from the ones on Azure. And it's not just the big clouds. Even services like GitHub or Datadog have their own distinct APIs. It's just like in the real world, right? You wouldn't hire a fantastic French translator for a super important meeting in Tokyo. It just wouldn't work. You need a specialist for each language. And it's the exact same thing with Terraform. You need the AWS provider for AWS. You need the Azure provider for Azure. No mixing and matching. So, okay, how do you actually hire one of these translators for the job? Now, you might be thinking this is where it gets complicated, right? But I've got good news. It is literally one of the simplest things you'll ever do in Terraform. It's just 3 little steps. Look, step 1, you just declare the provider you need in your config file. That's it. It's like writing, hey, I need the AWS translator. Step 2, you run one single command, Terraform init. And for step 3, well, there is no step 3 for you. Terraform just handles the rest. It automatically goes out, finds, and downloads the exact provider you need. So easy. And this right here, this is probably the biggest sigh of relief for anyone just getting started. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You do not write provider code. You don't have to build the translator. You just tell Terraform which one you need to use, and it does all the heavy lifting for you. Okay, let's talk about a couple of common mistakes. I want to clear up the 2 things that trip up almost everyone when they're just starting out. Getting this straight right now is going to save you so many headaches down the road, believe me. Okay, here it is. This is, without a doubt, the #1 source of confusion. People ask all the time, is a provider the same thing as a resource? And the answer is a big, definite no. Let's go right back to our trusty translator analogy. The provider is the translator itself. It's the who that's doing the talking. The resource, on the other hand, is the specific thing you're asking for, like, say, an EC2 server. That's the what. So you use the who, the provider, to ask for the what, the resource. See the difference? The other common mix-up? Confusing Terraform itself with the cloud provider. It's an easy mistake to make. Just remember, Terraform is the tool. It's what you use to write the instructions. The cloud provider, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, that's the platform. That's the actual place where your infrastructure gets built and where it lives.
All right, let's pull all of this together now. We've covered a lot, but if you only remember one single thing from our chat today, please make it this.
At its very core, a provider is just a bridge. That's all it is. It's the plugin that gives Terraform its superpower, the ability to connect to and control basically any platform that has an API. You can think of it as Terraform's window to the entire outside world.
So let's recap the crucial points one last time. Lock these in. Number 1, a provider is a translator. Simple as that. Number 2, it connects Terraform to a specific platform's API. 3, you don't write it, you just declare it. And finally, number 4, the provider is the how and the resource is the what. That's the whole game. So there you have it. Now you really understand the what and the why behind providers. The real question isn't about the tool anymore, is it? It's about what you are going to go build with it.